Here's a little bit more information about why and how you should join the Staff Wellbeing Toolkit for your school or college. So the purpose of the Wellbeing Toolkit for staff is to provide you with a range of practical knowledge, tools and strategies for developing staff mental health and wellbeing in your school. There's a lot of information out there flying around the internet and from the D4E and from various different organisations, but there isn't enough practical tools and resources. As an organisational psychologist, I used to teach a master's level module in workplace wellbeing, which occupational psychologists need to do that master's degree in order to then become wellbeing specialists. So I've taken a lot of the occupational psychology theories that are relevant for schools and turned them into this online training and practical resource toolkit. I've then combined that with positive psychology approaches for improving wellbeing that we have got experience of using in schools for over 12 years. And integrated them with coaching approaches for effective continuous professional development, or CPD opportunities. Coaching is one of the most effective approaches to developing staff performance and wellbeing in school settings. So everything we do in our wellbeing toolkit is through a coaching based approach, asking coaching questions and giving you specific prompts in order to have coaching based conversations which help improve staff wellbeing. The Staff Wellbeing Toolkit draws on several different wellbeing theories, but one of the key ones is self-determination theory, which tells us if we help people to have autonomy, competence, and relatedness in their work, it will improve well-being. That's why using a coaching approach really works when you're developing staff well-being, because it automatically helps increase autonomy, competence, and relatedness. So we use this theory implicitly and explicitly throughout the Wellbeing Toolkit, also linking that back to the D4E's recommendations of what schools need to be doing and wider workplace psychology approaches and interventions. So our online resource toolkit is housed within our Wellbeing Academy online platform, and it provides you with downloadable resources that you can literally download and start using straight away, and a modular online training course. If you sat down and did it in one go, would take about 5 hours, but the idea is that you dip in and out of the short videos and shorter modules gradually over time. You don't even need to do them in the set order. You can dip in and out of the different modules based on what your interests are and what you feel fits the need of your school staff the best. So as I said, how to use the toolkit most effectively. You get 1 year's access from when you've paid the invoice. So you don't even need to sit down and rush to do it. You can start off getting to grips with the online learning and then dipping in and out of the modules gradually over time over that year. So you're building a sustainable approach to staff wellbeing. It's flexible online learning, it's modular. As your staff wellbeing approach changes over time, you might need to dip into some different topics and different resources based on how things are evolving. That's why we give you a year's access. Then the idea is that you download the resources, tools and activities, and you can actually share them in a train the trainer style approach with colleagues, SLT, to either develop your own wellbeing intervention, your own wellbeing program, or your own staff wellbeing inset day. And you don't need to use everything in the toolkit. We want you to pick from the buffet of things that are inside that toolkit to really think about what is right for you in your school setting. We introduce you to a range of information, and you then decide which one do you want to use yourselves and invest in a bit more. Like if you were at a buffet, you try a little bit of everything and then you decide which one is the thing that you're going to have more of. And that's basically how our Wellbeing Toolkit for Staff works. So how much does it cost to join the Staff Wellbeing Toolkit, and what do you actually get? 3 different access tiers depending on your focus. So we have the starting with staff tier, which is $795, which includes the Staff Wellbeing Toolkit online course, as already mentioned, which is 5 hours, access to our library of online guest expert workshops, regular guest expert workshops around topics to do with staff wellbeing, 20 downloadable staff wellbeing resources, audit tools to help you assess and understand staff wellbeing issues and needs earlier, and links to other recommended resources. You get access to our half-termly hotline drop-in calls where you will be able to speak to me and ask your questions about your own staff wellbeing needs and your plans and priorities. Your peer networking with other wellbeing leaders in our Wellbeing Academy community, and access to our online coaching progress logs and effective practice examples from other schools. If you go for the staff and pupil tier, you get access to all of that stuff, and you also get access to tools and strategies to develop a curriculum for wellbeing with children and embed a wellbeing approach for your children and young people, because we know that staff wellbeing and teacher wellbeing are two sides of the same coin, so it works out more cost effective and sustainable if you do both at the same time. So you get access to the Wellbeing Toolkit course, which is another 5-hour course about a curriculum for wellbeing, the staff development toolkit, which is a train the trainer toolkit to help you share wellbeing approaches with staff, and how to monitor and evaluate any wellbeing approaches that you're applying in your school. Over 30 downloadable wellbeing curriculum resources for pupils, and 6 train the trainer staff development resources, and a personal one-to-one coaching call, and access to our other CPD library, which is all to do with children and young people's mental health. Or you get access to the embedding tier of Wellbeing Club, which is basically where you get access to most of our programs in our Wellbeing Academy, most of our online courses, and anything new that we develop apart from Wellbeing Ambassadors that is not included. So you get access to our Senior Mental Health League Wellbeing Pathway course, which is about developing your sustainable culture for wellbeing from a strategic point of view, all the other things I've mentioned already, an introduction to coaching young people, because again we want you to be using coaching approach for children and young people as we do for staff. Any staff wellbeing activities planners, checklists, audit tools, coaching resources, and 2 30-minute personalised leadership coaching calls with me. So we have a special offer because we're launching the Staff Wellbeing Toolkit before the end of the academic year, which expires on the 14th of July. So if you join embedding tier, you get £200 off. If you join the pupil or staff tiers, you save £150. So we suggest, if you're interested in this, even if you don't want to start looking at it until September or during the holidays, well, that's not great for your well-being, that you join now, because you get 12 months access from when that invoice is paid, and then you actually can make a big saving. One thing I want to draw your attention to that you might not be aware of is that Wellbeing Club embedding tier is actually D for E assured. So if you come through this route and decide to go for the embedding tier, you can actually claim a grant from the D for E to pay for £1,200 towards the Wellbeing Club membership for your first year, if you haven't already had your grant for Senior Mental Health League training. So again, you get access to all of the things I've mentioned already, 12 months access, examples, CPD workshops, online learning, audit tools, train the trainer wellbeing activities for pupils and staff. It's eligible for the Senior Mental Health Lead training grant. So if you haven't chosen a provider for your Senior Mental Health Lead grant and you want to use it for Wellbeing Club, you can use it for the embedding tier and get access to the Staff Wellbeing Toolkit that I've mentioned already today. But you have to join now before the 14th of July 2023 to access this special offer. So if you have any questions, email us, we will help you out, and do please join and take us up on that offer and save up to £200 before the 14th of July.